Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It is March, so it's time for stamp versus stamp. But, it's been busy. We've had a lot of things going on lately, and I was talking to Smokey, and he's been having a lot of things going on, and we're trying to think, what should we do for the month of March in stamp versus stamp? It has not been easy. We're going back and forth with a lot of ideas and nothing is really sticking and making sense to us. But I'm hoping that Smokey's had an idea. Let's find out.
Hey, Rob. Look, I don't know if you realized it or not, but it's time for stamp versus stamp again. The calendar behind me says it's March already. Wow, the month really flew by. So have you been thinking about stamp versus stamp at all? Look, I've been really busy. We've got a lot going on in our family, a lot going on in the church. I haven't had a lot of time to think about it. So let's do this. Look, March is St. Patrick's Day, right? St. Patrick's Day is March 17th. So what do you think about doing, I don't know, stamps that are green? Yeah, what do you think about doing a video just about all green stamps? I think that could work. What do you think? I mean, there's a lot of shades of green. So yeah, why don't you find a green stamp or two, and we'll see if that'll work. Yeah, let me know what you think.
Smokey suggests that we do stamps that are green for St. Patrick's Day. Could be an idea. I'm sure there's a lot of green stamps out there, or stamps that have St. Patrick's Day themes. This was the first stamp that I came up with, and how appropriate. If it's St. Patrick's Day, it has to be a stamp from Ireland. Well, it was this stamp. It came out in 1961. It's Irish, Scott number 181. It is a value of 1 shilling and 3 pence. It's for the 1500th anniversary of St. Patrick's death. Wow. It was a set of 3, too, so I'm focused on this all green one. But it reminds me of this stamp here, which is also from Ireland. It's a €1 stamp, came out in 2015. It features the saint as a bishop with a crosier in one hand and a shamrock in the other. The shamrock's also in the top of the staff. It's designed by Steve Simpson. 2 really nice stamps, don't you think? But I'm thinking, it's not quite right. It's not the theme that I want. What about, it was suggested to me that we do women on stamps because March 8th is International Women's Day. The month of March is Women's Month. Let me see what Smokey thinks.
Well, Rob, I certainly did learn a lot about a woman that I didn't know much about until today and researching this stamp. But I got to thinking, what if we did the video about this? Look, March 15th is the Ides of March. You know, Julius Caesar, William Shakespeare. So we'll do a whole Shakespeare-themed episode. You find stamps that have to do with William Shakespeare, and it could go something like this. To stamp or not to stamp? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in a stock book or an album page, to use hinges or mounts. Can you see it now? You, me, stamps, Shakespeare? Sounds perfect. What do you think?
So he wasn't 100% taken with women in stamps as this month's theme, and has come back to me with Shakespeare. Oh, the great bard. Oh, we could do some Shakespeare. That would let us break into a little acting, and maybe we could dress up a little bit. The first thing I thought when he said the Ides of March was this Italian stamp that has Julius Caesar on it. It's Scott's number 217. It came out in 1929. But then I thought, well, he probably doesn't really want Julius Caesar and the Ides of March is when Julius Caesar was killed. But he really wants to talk about Shakespeare himself. So this stamp that came out in the United States in 1964 was a 5-cent stamp, Scott number 1250. It celebrates the 400th anniversary of the birth of Shakespeare. Nice looking stamp. Love the art to it. But I'm not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it. Why are these so difficult? I have no idea why it's taking us this much to come up with an idea for this video. When I think of March, it's the start of a word. Marching. We could do something marching. A marching band. I know Smokey did a little band stuff when he was in high school. Maybe he has an affinity for a video all about marching bands.
Looking at stamps with marching bands on it, certainly fun, and reminded me of the time that I spent in band in my youth. But I don't know. Yeah, I like it, but I think we could come up with something better. And so there's something you said that really stood out to me. And you said, let's make it quirky. I don't know about you, but when I think quirky, I think the weather. Look, March 23rd, that's World Meteorological Day. So how about we do a whole video about stamps that feature the weather? Stamps with rain, stamps with snow, stamps with sleet, stamps with rainbows and sunshine and clouds. That's it. A whole episode devoted to the quirky weather.
All right, he doesn't want to do anything about marching bands. He wants to do the meteorological stamp series. Well, here in Canada, it can be snowing, it can be raining, it can be hot, it can be cold. Everything is changing all the time. And so I thought of this stamp here from Switzerland. Came out in 1956, Scott number 806, not 806, 806. And it's for World Meteorological Organization. It depicts all sorts of weather, which you can go outside here and have hail, snow, sunshine, rain. It can all change during the same day sometimes. So I can relate with this stamp. It's 40-cent blue. But I can't relate with this being the topic. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. It does make me kind of hungry, though. You know what comes out in March? Pie. Are you a cheesecake or a pie? A cake or a pie person? Well, 3.14. That's the pie I'm thinking of. Let's see if Smokey's thinking about the same pie.
Look, I'm a nerd, and I'm really okay with that. And I do love pie, whether it's the 3.14 kind or banana, chocolate, or pecan. I'm all in. But I don't know. For a whole episode, sounds a little sweet to me. Maybe we ought to go old school on this one. Old school. March 2nd is National Old Stuff Day. So how about an episode all about old stamps, antique stamps, vintage stamps. Vintage is all the rage now. So can you find a stamp or some stamps that are vintage or show vintage things?
As delicious as pie was, it wasn't the right theme for Smokey. He had an idea for antiques. Antiques. Well, when I think of antiques, I think of clocks, watches, all sorts of things. And I came up with two really good sets of stamps that we can talk about. In 1990, Hungary put out these stamps, 3272 to 3275 in the Scott catalog, a set of 4 antique clocks. Or we can look at these stamps from Austria that came out in 1970, Scott numbers 865 through 870. It's a set of 6. 3 of them have the same images, but of each of those 3, there are 2 different shades of coloring. So you could collect those 2. Some really cool antique clocks in all of those stamps. But how would we do an antique themed video and make it work? You know what? Our channel is more about fun than it is about antiques. What if I suggest to Smokey we do something with the March 31st day of crayons and release our inner child? Let's see what Smokey thinks of them.
Well, you're right. I do enjoy a pop of color. I do enjoy vivid and vibrant stamps. I do enjoy cartoons on stamps and children's drawing on stamps. So it was really a lot of fun to find those kind of stamps to share with you. But I don't know. It still doesn't feel quite right. So I was thinking maybe we go back to what we're known for. March 20th. That is World Storytelling Day. Now, you know I love to tell a good story. You tell a good story. So why not find some stamps that tell us a story? What story do they tell? You know, that's totally up to you.
All right, we might be getting closer. Crayons were the childlike thing that we maybe needed, but wasn't quite where we needed to get to. And Smokey's right. We're both kind of storytellers. His might have more truth in them than mine do, but we do like spinning a good yarn, that's for sure. And I've got a stamp that would work for that. But I also have a location that would work for that too. Let me take you there. Here. Do you have one of these in your house? If you have kids, you probably do. Yeah, I have kids. They're older, and we used to do a lot of this. You know, let's go inside here for a second. There. I'm inside the blanket fort. And it reminds me of this stamp here that came out in Canada in 2015. It's B22. It's a semi-postal, which means it's part of the Canada Post Foundation, where a little bit goes to charity. With every stamp that you buy, there's an additional 10 cents on the forever stamp or the P stamp, the permanent stamp. And it depicts kids in a blanket fort telling stories. And that's where we have a lot of fun. We built some amazing... Ow! Am I getting too big for blanket forts? I might be. But I'm willing to do it for you guys. Create these blanket forts. Tell a few stories. Like I did when my kids were little. And we would just have fun taking all the blankets, all the chairs, the couches, the cushions, take them all apart, make the biggest fort we could. When we had a dog, the page would come in too. And we made blanket forts and told stories and played games. Had a great time. We could do a whole video about storytelling. We kind of have in the past though, haven't we? We got to think of a new angle. Something a little bit unusual. But we're still talking about stamps. I'm going to give Smokey another call. One last time. See if we can do something unusual. An unusual stamp maybe. We've had some great ideas, but some poor executions. We found a few cool stamps along the way, but nothing that really said stamp versus stamp. March has been difficult. It's been busy. Trying to nail down that right particular thing that we want to do needs a little bit of help. Maybe March we're not going to get anything out. Maybe we need your help a little bit more. We need your suggestions. What do you want to see that's going to be quirky, but still tell a little about our lovely hobby of stamp collecting? We want to find those right stamps, but we want to do it in a fun way, something you guys are going to enjoy. Maybe there's something between my video and Smokey's video, because you have to watch both of them to get the full story. Maybe between the ideas that we've come up with already, there was a nugget in there that you said, oh, I wish you would have developed that more. I wish they would have done something more on that. Let us know in the comments. If you got something different, let us know so we can start working towards April and make sure we have a fun, quirky video for you to watch. That's what we need. We need help. We've been doing these videos for a long time now, over a year. And we want to make them so they're fun for you and fun for us to make. So we need you to be a part of the community. Have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye. One of the things about getting older and doing blanket forts, we might not be able to get up again. If you don't hear from me in a little while, you might need to send some help. I might still be under this table trying to get up.